The antique shop stood at the edge of town, a forgotten relic in a world that had moved on. Dusty windows obscured the treasures within, but one item gleamed with an eerie allure: an ornate pocket watch, its surface etched with intricate designs that seemed to shift and writhe under the dim light. Ethan stumbled into the shop, desperation etched on his face. His wife, Sarah, lay in a hospital bed, her life hanging by a thread after a car accident. The doctors had given up hope, but Ethan refused to accept it. He had heard whispers of the watch, of its power to glimpse the future. If he could see what lay ahead, perhaps he could change it. The shopkeeper, an ancient man with eyes like polished obsidian, watched Ethan with a knowing smile. "You seek the Timekeeper's watch," he rasped. "But beware, each vision comes with a curse." Ethan hesitated only for a moment before nodding. The shopkeeper handed him the watch, its weight cold and heavy in his palm. "Remember," the old man warned, "the future is not meant to be seen." Back at the hospital, Ethan clutched the watch, his heart pounding. He opened it, and the world around him blurred. Suddenly, he was standing in the hospital corridor watching as doctors rushed into Sarah's room. He saw the flatline on the monitor, heard the frantic shouts. No, he thought, not like this. The vision faded and Ethan was back in the present. He knew what he had to do. He intercepted the doctor, urging him to check Sarah's vitals again. Miraculously, they found a faint pulse and Sarah was stabilized. Ethan's heart soared with hope, but as he glanced at the watch, he noticed a crack in the glass. Days passed and Sarah's condition improved. Ethan dared to believe they had beaten fate. But then the nightmares began. Each night he dreamt of Sarah's death in increasingly horrific ways, drowning, burning, falling from great heights. Each vision was more gruesome than the last, and each morning the watch bore a new crack. Desperate to end the torment, Ethan used the watch again. This time, he saw Sarah walking into their home, only to be struck by a falling chandelier. He rushed to prevent it, but in doing so, he tripped and broke his leg. The chandelier fell harmlessly to the floor, but the watch now had a deep fissure running through it. Ethan's attempts to change the future became frantic, each one leading to a new disaster. He saw Sarah poisoned by a gas leak, and in his haste to fix it, he accidentally caused an explosion. He saw her attacked by a stranger, and when he intervened, he was the one who ended up in the hospital. The watch was now barely holding together, its face a web of cracks. Ethan's mind was unraveling, each vision a fresh nightmare. He realized too late that the shopkeeper's warning was true. The future was not meant to be seen, and every attempt to change it only tightened the curse's grip. One final vision came to him, clearer than any before. He saw himself, standing in the antique shop, handing the watch back to the shopkeeper. The old man smiled, and Ethan felt a strange sense of peace. He knew what he had to do. With a heavy heart, Ethan returned to the shop. The shopkeeper was waiting, his eyes gleaming with dark amusement. "You understand now," he said softly. "The watch shows you the future, but it is a future that must come to pass." Ethan nodded, placing the watch on the counter. As he did, the cracks vanished, and the watch gleamed as if new. The shopkeeper took it, his smile widening. "The curse is lifted for now." Ethan left the shop, the weight of his actions pressing down on him. He had saved Sarah, but at what cost? The future was a fragile thing, and he had learned the hard way that some things were better left unknown. As he walked away, the shopkeeper placed the watch back on its pedestal, ready for the next desperate soul to seek its cursed visions. The future was a dangerous thing, and the Timekeeper's watch would always be there, waiting to ensnare those who dared to defy fate.